Hi, everyone, and welcome to the latest episode of Govs on the Go Alumni Edition, a podcast featuring alumni from the College of Arts and Letters here at Austin Peay State University. My name is Dr. Buzz Hoon. I'm the Dean of the College. I'm also the host of the podcast. And today I'm talking with Sophia Eisenbart, who graduated with a degree in 2017. Is that right, Sophia?
Yes, it is.
Hopefully I got your name correct, too.
Yeah, you did.
Very good. Welcome to the podcast. So great to have you on.
Thank you for talking to me about this because it's a big honor for me. I mean, I always try to tell my students all the time that are interested in art to go to Austin Peay because I'm really proud of my art department.
Well, and there is evidence of you around campus. We're going to talk about that. That you have a legacy here, which I think is so cool.
But I love that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a great honor that they have chosen to bestow upon you. So let's give everybody a life update. Tell people what's going on in your life right now.
Okay. Right now, I feel like I'm kind of like living my best life because I always wanted to teach, and for the past 8 months, I've been teaching high school art, and it's been a blast. And I feel really like blessed like every day because a lot of kids come up and run up to me and they give me a hug, and they're like, "Oh, Miss Macias, we love you, we miss you." And so it feels kind of like, wow, that's really cool that they have such a positive connection with me and my art class. And I don't know, it feels like a real privilege to be doing that. I like seeing their eyes get all happy with stuff that we're doing. The second thing is I have a show at the Customs House Museum, and it's going to be up until October 20th. And those are the two things.
Yeah, no, those are wonderful things. And what I love about your attitude towards teaching is you have already discovered what the joy of teaching is. And that's the reaction of your students to, and the great thing is, if I've been around for 30 plus years, and, over that period of time, I've seen so often how teachers can influence and impact a young person's life. And you're already witnessing that. That's terrific.
Yeah, that's why I'm here tonight even. I didn't want to leave the kids hanging because this is one of our art nights. So I was like, okay, I'm going to be in this little middle room. You guys enjoy your art night.
Nice. Okay. Well, we're going to talk about your current job in a little bit, but we're going to go backwards in time. We're going to talk about growing up here in Clarksville and what it was like for you and how you discovered this love of art. When did it manifest itself, and how was it fostered in your household?
So, I guess I'd start by saying my mom. My mom's like my number one supporter and probably like my number one helper. She still helps me even now. But when I was a kid, my mom is always really creative and like she paints herself. She's also an artist. She does things. And so it kind of like inspired me as a young kid to want to be like creative. I think it came like naturally. And then when I was a little bit older, my next door neighbor, initially she was going to teach me how to play guitar, but I guess I'm just not musical. So I saw she was a graphic designer in Nashville, and I saw some things that she was doing, and I was like, wow, can you teach me how to paint? So that's how it started.
Okay. And you said that your very first studio was your basement.
Yeah, my mom's basement. Yeah. Yeah.
So
it was cool in there.
Yeah, no, and so obviously she was a very proud mother. As I kept now there, I will admit I kept all the things that my kids drew for me, but there's a big difference. I mean, at some point they said, "Why are you keeping these kind of things?" But she
Right.
must have known that you had some sort of gift and ability very early on. She wanted to foster. She wanted to keep you going in that direction.
Yeah. I think I definitely needed it too. So I'm really glad that that was kind of a direction we went. I was a very like, I don't know, sensitive child. So,
Hmm.
you know, it could have been anything. I could have been listening to music and I would always like feel everything very strongly. So I I think art was always my creative outlet to kind of express myself. And so I think my mom definitely saw that and was like, yeah, we're gonna keep fostering this. And I think it helps. So
So, do you remember the first thing that you made that you thought that you were really proud of?
oh
What
yeah.
was it?
When I was taking my art lessons with my neighbor, the first thing I ever painted was this like panda bear. I was obsessed with pandas when I was a kid. So I made this panda bear and it was like a realistic panda bear painting.
Hmm.
And so I had it framed and well, my mom had it framed. I didn't have money, but my mom had it framed and it was in our living room forever. She was so proud of it. And then even when we moved houses, it was still in her living room.
Hmm. I
Yeah.
wonder if somehow a panda bear is now your icon or your image will be moving forward because that's an interesting choice to have as your first subject for your for a
It
paint.
is, it is. I just like that they're like cuddly and I don't
Hmm.
know, something about them.
Nice. So did you continue on when you were in high school? Was that something you like to
Oh
do?
yeah. Yeah, definitely. I was one of those kids that always had their sketchbook and stuff. And yeah, that was just what I did. I had other friends. I found other people who also brought their sketchbook to school and people thought they were weird and stuff. So yeah.
Well, it's different, and the fact that you have this ability to see things, I think that, and I hope you realize that now, you have the ability to see beauty in the world that normal people like myself, it's not there until you point it out, till you make it, and it's visible, and we all go, oh. Wow, you're so wonderful. But you pull these things out of the ether, it seems like, just like a musician does.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, no, I think
Appreciate
so.
that.
When you say that, I think that the first reaction by us regular humans are saying when we see you, we don't know where this comes from. But
Oh yeah.
yeah, the fact that you found other people, like you said, that were supportive and what you kind of the stuff that you could share with them, I'm sure was very important to your development.
Right. It was. I'm just glad that I kind of ended up finding some like-minded people, especially in college. Um, it's a funny story, really. So I didn't start out as an art major. I was like positive I was going to try to be a biology major. I'm not good at math or science stuff.
What was
So
Sophia? Why? Why? What were you
I don't
trying to fit
know.
into a box? Did you think I needed to do this?
Yeah, I did. I thought, okay, well, I just graduated. I didn't really go to like a normal high school either. I went to 1 year public school and then my mom put me in like a academy thing because, I was getting like bullied and stuff. So, when I got to college, I was like, I'm gonna get a career type of job as something because I love animals. And I failed like over and over again. And my advisor was like, "Do you like anything else? Anything at all?" And I was so hurt because I was like, "Okay, I'm just gonna follow my passion. I'm gonna start doing, I'm gonna do art now." And I've
Hmm.
always done art. In fact, my mom, she was like, "I don't know why you didn't do that at first because art and Sophia are just two things that go together." And I was like, yeah, I was just trying not to be jobless and stuff. So I thought I would try to get a career
Yeah.
doing something else.
Well, that's the other thing that I wanted to kind of mention. You mentioned that you had been working probably of course you've been working all your life, but you've done so many different jobs.
I know it's embarrassing.
No, I think that shows work ethic. I think it shows that you're exploring how you can earn a living. But I like the fact that you said, art was always kind of a steady influence in your life.
Right. Well, especially if you're not where you want to be in life. Like now I feel like I'm where I'm supposed to be. But when you feel like you're not really working the job that you really want, or you don't feel like you're where you want to be, at least art or whatever everyone else's hobbies are, maybe it's music, at least that's like the steady constant in your life and you can lean on it and it can like be there, you know?
Yeah. And again, I am so glad that you're in a position where you can bring that out in other young people that they feel like that's just the fact that it's in their soul and they don't have to bury it. They don't have
Right,
to
right,
hide it from the rest of the world. Uh,
right.
that gives me hope for the future. So
Yeah.
let's talk about, because everyone in the art and design department that I talked with talked about how a superstar you are.
Oh, that's so
Yes, they
sweet.
did. So let's talk a little bit about what are your early memories of finally getting into some of the art classes?
Okay. Well, I remember, I think his name was Rusty. He was a very sweet guy, but it was like when I was taking my first drawing classes, I just remember him asking me like, "Are you always like this happy and stuff?" But I had just gone from like failing every biology class to like doing stuff I really love, so I was full of all this like energy and just really happy all the time. But my favorite memories ever is I I had like scholarships for the from Cindy Marsh to do like the what is it called? The letterpress. I was like cleaning the letterpress stuff, and that was like my scholarship thing. And I helped Cindy a lot with like setting up the press at like different events, like when we would go to the library, and it was just kind of showing off the press, and that was fun. Or just like cleaning them and putting them away. That was always a big thing. And then my most memorable thing ever, because this changed my life when I discovered I love painting. I used to think I really loved printmaking, but then I took painting one and two with Paul Collins, like back to back, I think. And I had just started painting my collages for the first time. And I kind of just like went crazy. I was like, oh, wow, I'm going to stay here all night and I'm going to paint these things. So I would call my mom, and mom loves doing everything with me. So I'm like, hey, can you come with me to school? I'm going to be here like for a really long time. And so, yeah, she would just keep me company. And we're like sitting in front of this giant, like 5 foot painting, painting things. Yeah, I kind of just I got extremely focused for a
Yeah.
while on painting those. It's like when you find something, I don't know, when you finally figure out the formula of something that you've been working on and then it just clicks.
Yeah. It's interesting. I did talk to Paul Collins yeah, and before we had this
Oh,
podcast, and he said you were already a star in printmaking, and he had
yeah.
to beg you to come take the painting classes because he saw your ability and he wanted to have you in the painting classes. But he also described you as joyous and
Oh,
funny
yeah.
and all those wonderful positive
Oh,
traits as well.
that's sweet. I love him so much.
And you mentioned working with Cindy, who
Mhm.
is since retired and but also a very important person in
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot of people's lives over in art
Mhm.
design.
Yeah, definitely.
So can you talk a little bit? It seems to me, as an outsider in many ways, that there is a community within art and design, a community that is fostered not just by the professors, which is certainly important, but by the people they bring in, and
Mhm.
also just the interaction of the students. A wonderful culture that happens there.
Mhm. I definitely felt like I experienced that culture when I was going there. It really has to do with like when you are there for so many hours a day and you're getting to meet everyone there, you kind of like form this bond. And then when you get to know everyone, it's kind of just like, yeah, this is now my home. I spend so much of my life here that we share everything with each other. And then we support each other. We go to each other's shows, we help each other with figuring out what to draw or what to paint, how to figure out our art solutions. And yeah, I think that I think back a lot on the experience I had with my friends, and we're still friends even now. And I think that says a lot about the culture that we had and
Yes.
the kind of culture that was cultivated there. And I honestly, when I sometimes will pop in every once in a while, and I think it's still there because it just feels like it feels good. I think that's really rare too, because not every place has that.
Uh, That's right. And it's hard to continue, but they managed to do that for so many years and for so many different students. Now, hopefully, people that are familiar with campus, and if they have a chance to go over to the library, they will see your
Oh yeah.
large painting, yeah, that collage.
Yes.
So tell us about how that came. I mean, is that the one you're talking about that you were working on with your mom?
Oh yeah. Okay. So this was a really interesting story, I think. All the way back then, this lady that I kind of knew, her name is Sarah Letterick. She had a gallery in Nashville, and I was posting a lot to like Instagram, my different art and stuff. And I forgot the name of the gallery that it was, but it was in Nashville. It'll come back to me. But it was my first show in Nashville ever. And she's like, "Well, how many pieces do you think you can put in there?" And I think I made like 10 pieces or something like that. And it was a huge challenge because like all of them were really big. And so that's where I was experiencing my extreme focusing of painting every night, these huge things. But yeah, that was one of them that was painted during that time. And that one was my favorite one too. So when Barry bought it, I was like, oh, my heart. But also, I'm really glad it's going to a safe place.
Yes. And I wanted to ask you about that because it seems like you put so much of your uh, time, so much of your soul in many ways into developing something that is then won't be in your possession forever. I mean, it's now being appreciated by somebody else. Is that a hard thing to do as an artist?
Um, it is. So every time I sell one, I'm just like, this is like I have to break up with this painting because I
Yeah.
love this painting and I spent so much time and like these are my collages that they're very personal sometimes and like they're from my doodles and there's like a lot of me inside of it, but it also feels good at the same like breath because I'm happy that someone gets to appreciate a part of me the same way that I appreciate it. So it's like sending it off to school, I guess. I'm just happy
Yeah.
that it's going to a good place.
And that's a good thing to relate it to because I mean it's like sending a child off to college because it's sad but yet that's part of life and
Exactly.
it will be enjoyed by other people. Now, something I don't know, can you explain to me how you found value in trash?
Okay. So when I was printmaking a lot, I was very fascinated with the cast off sheets that people would do like test prints on. And a lot of times there would be like, you know, 10, 15 test prints on the same piece of paper, and it would just be tossed in the trash. And I spent so much time in the print studio already that I just kind of found myself kind of like digging through the trash bins.
Hmm.
And I'm like, oh wow, that's cool. Oh, that's really cool too. And then I just started making these like trash paper books. I would find like weird I think I was using tape cassettes and I was taking like the thing inside, like the spool, and using it as like string and binding these books out of these discarded type papers. And so I was making these really cool books for a minute, and it just kind of made me feel like I can't believe people are throwing these away because they are themselves really cool pieces of art. And maybe it's hoarding, maybe it's not, but when I find a cool piece of paper, I'm just like, wow, that's a cool piece of paper, or this is a really cool color. And because I love mixing color,
Mm-hmm.
I just love color. But when I see like a really cool piece of like paper that's a cool color, I'm like, I gotta try to mix that. It's like a challenge to like mix it and get the color right. I don't know. There's a lot of joy that can be found in things that are discarded. So,
Yeah,
and it's
I
free. So that's another plus.
that it is. Well, you're fine. Yeah, as I said earlier, you see some possibilities, you see some beauty in things that people don't, and able to put it together to where all of a sudden we recognize it again
Right.
in a different way. And that's really cool.
Yeah, it's exciting because then when you look at a painting like that, I've used a whole bunch of like, I don't know, papers that are from like receipts and stuff, and they have their own like special quality to them. Or when I use like a grocery bag and you can see like the translucence in it, it just, I don't know, it's like exciting because you recognize it and you go, oh, that's what that is. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about your exhibition at the Customs House. Can you talk about some of the things people can see there?
Yeah, I have a few collages there. I don't really show my collages very much, but they are still their own pieces of artwork too. I kind of almost refer to them more as like drawings because they are the preliminary work that goes into paintings. But I have a few collages there, and I have a few smaller paintings that are like 8.5 by 11. But those are really fun too. And I have three really large paintings there. And those are actually the remainder of my large paintings that I have that haven't been sold. And I was like, perfect, they can go here. Actually, my mom sent me a picture. She went with her friend to go see it the other day. And it was like a kids' craft night.
Mm-hmm.
And the kids there, and this like warmed my heart. I wish I could show you the picture, that the kids were inspired to make their own really giant, colorful cut paper, like sort of painting with scissors, kind of big piece of artwork. And I was like, well, maybe they had just read Matisse or something. Maybe they were doing that. But she's like, no, it was in the gallery with your artwork. And so I was like, wow,
Ooh.
the kids like it.
Yeah. Could you ever imagine, Sophia, growing up here in Clarksville, that someday you would be what you would be doing in art would be on exhibition here?
Oh no, I wouldn't have thought that. I try to be humble. I'm just like,
Hmm.
wow, I'm just really thankful that somebody likes what I do. I never want to be, too big-headed. I just try to be thankful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, no, and that's great. And again, I think you're in a great position as a teacher to continue not only to continue to work on what you want to do, but also to help other people find what they do. And so I'm just thinking here. Many times it's easy for somebody to say, "This is what I have expertise in." What kind of things do you see from your students that you say, "Oh, I love to see that. They're so surprising. They're surprising me every day." In what?
Oh, in their ability to be creative. I think this is the biggest challenge for kids these days
Hmm.
because the internet like gives them everything. And a lot of times I'm just like, okay, well, we're gonna put our phones away and computers away. And I try to ask them like, okay, what are you interested in? All right. So you're interested in basketball. Well, let's for our collage unit, why don't you do some collages about basketball? And I love collage, so I always start every year like with collage unit.
Yeah.
And I think that's what always amazes me is they kind of just like blow my mind sometimes when they make something and they have no experience like doing this. This is their first art class and they didn't even know they could do art. That blows my mind. I'm like,
Yeah.
wow, thank you for being open to this class.
Well, that sounds, now you make me want to come down and take your
Yeah.
class.
Yeah, come take my class. Oh,
Well, you'll
sorry.
soon find out there's no creativity here.
Yeah. I would go show you my class, but I don't want to scare them.
Okay.
They're in
No.
there painting ceiling tiles and stuff.
Okay. Well, that sounds wonderful. You're in a position to where you deal with young people all the time, but what kind of recommendations do you have for college students, especially our students here at Austin P?
Well, I guess job wise, um, for me, advice I would have told myself is if you want to be a teacher, I didn't do this until later, which turned out to be the secret recipe for getting a teaching job, is just put your foot in the door. Take any job at CMCSS or any school place. I was really honest with my principal that I had before. I started off as a custodian. I was cleaning Kenwood Elementary, and I was very honest with her. And I said, I really want to be a teacher, but I need a job and I want to put my foot in the door. And she was extremely, like, pleasantly, like that was acceptable to her. I was honest, and she was like, okay, cool, we'll make it work. The other thing, art wise, is I don't think that this is something that I see high schoolers do a lot, is they immediately stop doing things that doesn't go their way because it's not perfect.
Hmm.
And I really don't believe in like bad art. I think what stops people from making art in the first place is already saying, oh, I'm not good at this, I'm not good at that. But I don't really think there like is bad art. And in fact, I like bad art because it's human, like it's real, and I don't know, when you look at it, you can see its humanness. Like, I don't know, it's hard to explain.
Because you see the beauty
Yeah,
in
because no one,
in the
I'm
world.
trying to get them to see it too.
No, that's awesome. So, as we wrap up our talk here, and I appreciate everything that you said, where do you think your art is taking you in the future?
I just got a studio. Earlier I mentioned that I just got a studio, and finally I have the job that I've wanted. So I had the freedom, like summers finally to do art and things like that. So I'm gonna start working towards probably having more shows and selling more artwork. Um, I just want to get to making more. That's what I see in my future. Previously, I hadn't really had a lot of time to make the art that I've wanted to make. So I have in my sketchbook, well, it's my sketchbook, but it's my collage sketchbook. It's this big of all these pieces that I've just been saving, when I have the time, and then I'll make a new one for when I have the time. So now I have the time, and I
Yes.
guess I'll just focus in and get real crazy and start making some.
Well, we look forward to seeing you. Now, are you going to talk at your sometime over at the Customs House?
She asked me, Terry asked me if I'd like to talk, and
Okay.
I'm not really sure, but maybe
Okay.
it would be during the art walk. So,
Okay. Well, hopefully I will see you at Art Walk.
okay. I'll have to figure out what to say. I don't know. Thank you, everybody. That's what I'll say.
Well, thanks, and thanks for being on the podcast. It's so much fun to talk with you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you it is a big honor, by the way, because I'm very proud of Austin P, and it is a big honor for me to talk to you like this.
Well, we're proud of you.
Oh, thank you.
And thanks to all of our listeners and viewers out there for checking out not only today's podcast, but for checking us out throughout the rest of the semester. We hope that you will join us again as we continue to profile some of the outstanding alumni we have in the College of Arts and Letters here at Austin Peay State University. So until next time, stay safe, take care, and God bless.